everyone, this is Rachel. Thanks for clicking on my video. And y'all, I came in today to talk about the teacher down in Texas who a student threw a chair at the teacher and busted the teacher upside the head. Y'all, let me give you a little bit of details and then I'll tell you my feelings about it. So this teacher is 73 years old and it was a substitute teacher. And there was a student, according to the teacher, that was not supposed to be in his class. I guess one thing led to another. He was telling the student to leave the class. The student refused. It escalated. And this student threw a chair at the teacher, striking the teacher in his head and causing the teacher's head to bleed. Now, in return, the teacher picked up several chairs and threw them back at the student. And I think this is where there may be a problem. Now, that's the story, y'all. We're going to marinate on that for a minute. And while y'all marinated on that, I want to tell you my feelings about this. So, y'all, first of all, my daughter went to school to be a school teacher. She did 5 years in college, graduated. And right before they graduate, they do all this testing, state testing that they have to pass. Then they, from what I can remember, they actually have to teach for a few months. Okay. So my daughter was an English teacher, language arts, creative writing, all that kind of stuff. And I believe she told me that she could also teach American history. I might have that wrong, but I seem to remember her telling me that. So my daughter did teach for several months right before she graduated. And a couple months before she graduated, I picked up the phone to a call from her. And she was boo-hooing, crying, telling me that she thought that she had made a mistake, that she did not want to be a teacher anymore. Now, let me take you back to that moment for me as a parent. Honestly, I didn't care what she went to school for because it was her time being spent there, her studying, her, trying to maintain her grades. I was just happy that she had decided to go to college. She studied hard. She made good grades several times on the dean's list, and she graduated and got her degree. Whatever she decided to do with it, it was her life. So I'm going to take you back to that moment she called me. So, she was telling me that she didn't want to disappoint me, but she's really thought about it, and this is not what she wanted to do. Now, the only thing that bothered me about it for my daughter is because ever since she was a little girl, like 3, 4, she had always said, when I grow up, I'm going to be a teacher. Now, when they're that young, you just say, oh, they're just talking. They are in daycare and they probably love their teacher. And this is the reason why they want to be a teacher. But no, my daughter, in elementary school, same thing. I want to be a teacher. She started tutoring other kids while she was in elementary. Then she went on to middle school. Same thing. She was really good in math, and they had her working as a tutor to other kids in math. Now, it's funny that she ended up being an English teacher because actually I thought if she was going to be a teacher, she should have been a math teacher. Okay. And then she went on to high school. Again, had her little roster of kids that she tutored, explained, things to them, helped them pass that class. So what I got from all this tutoring that she had been doing since elementary is that she was born to be a teacher. Despite whatever I wanted her to do, it was in her to do it. She has always made straight A's. Literally throughout high school. So with that, I thought she should have took those straight A's and applied it to something else, not be a teacher. But it wasn't my life, and it was what she wanted to do, okay? So when she called me that day right before she graduated from college, telling me, Mom, this is not what I want to do. I actually like designing the curriculum, but I don't actually like standing in front of the class teaching. Now, I'm pretty sure that it was more to it than that. But when she walked away from teaching, this is what I felt as her mother. Because this was something that was ingrained in her, like I said, I believed that honestly she was born to be a teacher. I felt like the field of teaching lost a promising young female black teacher in my daughter. Now, my daughter took her degree, took it into corporate America, and they're actually paying her double what she would have made as a teacher. So, she's happy. But the reason why I said all that is taking it back to this 73-year-old teacher. Teachers have families too. I'm the mother of a teacher. It's just that she decided not to teach for one reason or other. This is a substitute teacher that went into that school that day. If it's a substitute, they really don't have history with those kids. They're coming in to sit in for another teacher. So what is it that this substitute teacher did that he deserved to have a chair hurled across the room at him, knocking him upside his head and causing him to bleed? And then when he defends himself, some parents have an attitude. At what point is it okay for them to defend themselves when them kids have fucked them up and they one heartbeat away from death didn't defend themselves? Now, I don't condone any adult unnecessarily putting their hands on any minor. I don't condone that. But when you are under assault, you're an adult, and you're under assault in a high school, middle school, whatever, are you supposed to stand there and let them pummel you until you're damn near dead or being carried out on a stretcher? At some point, we got to make these kids take responsibility for their behavior and stop blaming some of these teachers for simply defending themselves. Because I'm going to tell y'all, like I talked about my daughter, wanting to be a teacher, always desiring to be a teacher. I also know this about her. Has she ever gone into teaching and one of these kids would have attacked her? She's from the new generation. I know she would have fought back. I know she would have. She wouldn't have stood there and let some teenage girl whoop her ass in no classroom. I know my daughter. My daughter probably would have, held off for a minute, but then when she saw that this child was intent on whooping her ass, my daughter would have fought back. So my thing is, are teachers never supposed to defend themselves to some of these hard-headed ass, badass kids? This is getting ridiculous. And not to mention, this teacher is elderly. He's past retirement age. So he may be a retired teacher that stepped back in due to the shortage because of the pandemic to help out as a substitute teacher. I know here recently, because of the shortage of teachers, I think my daughter had said that she literally could pick up, I guess, extra work going back into a school system and working as a teacher during this pandemic because there's such a shortage of teachers. So you had someone who's 73, who's well beyond retirement age, step back in the classroom and this is what he gets? This is ridiculous, y'all. But this is this generation for you. I'd like to know what y'all think of it. Do you think that the teacher had a right to protect himself? If students were throwing chairs and stuff at him, Do you think that he should have just walked through them chairs and tried to make it to the office and not defended himself? Or do you think that he was well within his right, given the situation, to, yes, defend himself? Leave your comments down in the comment section. And as always, y'all, thanks for watching my video. You guys stay safe and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.